Okay, today we are playing a game on Volskaya Industries. We are playing Soldier the entire way through, and the average SR at this game was 2050. So, let's look at our team. We've got Soldier, Mercy, Lucio, Diva, Junkrat, and Zarya. So, my immediate guttural response to seeing this team was, oh god, it's hideous. But then I actually thought about it, and it's not the end of the world. I've been conditioned to be like, well, if it doesn't have a Reinhardt, it's just bad, basically. But currently Reinhardt is the weakest he's been in the entire time Overwatch has been released, basically. And given that dive comps are kind of everywhere right now, Diva is better in quite a lot of cases now, actually. This is, of course, balanced out by the fact that Junkrat is super bad against dive comps, so, you know, it's a game of give and take. So let's start the game anyway. So we're standing down here right now. I prefer to stand on the shack behind us. That's very scary right there. We almost got shot by Widow. I prefer to stand on the shack behind us at the start because standing here has a high tendency to get you killed by some random things coming through the doorway. And if you stand up on the shack behind you, you can just pressure both sides of the truck from safety because you're up on the high ground that not very many people can even actually get to. And yeah, it's not like super high ground or anything, but it is still high ground, which is generally where Soldier wants to be. So Junkrat did manage to kill Genji with the cheese, which is fantastic news. We do know they have a Widowmaker, so we do have to be careful of dying to Widowmaker, basically. We've managed to kill Widowmaker, so we don't have to worry about that for a little while. So we see over there that there was a Winston bubble and a Roadhog. Winston's a bit of trouble for us as Soldier. We don't really like Winston being on top of us. Winston isn't going to kill us, but at the same time, you know, it's just inconvenient more than anything else. So someone's on the point right now, we're going to go back. It's of course Genji, you know. We don't shoot at the Genji, he dashes through. We don't manage to kill him because we don't have anything that can kill a Genji super fast, but we get him in the end. Because, what Genji did there was not a legal maneuver, wherein he dashed through like 3 full HP people, and then couldn't get out because his dash didn't reset. So, don't do that if you're playing Genji. So, over there is Winston. We are now shooting at the Winston. We're now shooting Winston's bubble. Winston's bubble is now gone. We should be, like, moving back up onto the high ground, really, because we don't really want to fight on ground level. I don't know why we do this. That's just asking to die. Why run around the front of the shack when you can run around the back side of the shack? We know they've got a Widowmaker, so that's pretty spooky. And I know you were rejoining the team chat, but we just saw Widowmaker shoot out of this window, and we just stopped in line of sight of that window. This is a bit of a social faux pas. So, we've managed to, like, get a little bit of control back, so now we're sort of fighting over here a little bit. It's kind of awkward, because there aren't great places to stand for us. Here's Genji again, we're also getting shot at from over there. We saw Widow's over in that room over there. We knew Widow was over there, but we're trending in the direction that Widow can still shoot at us. Because we've seen Widow shoot. Right there, we just got shot by Widow. This collection of slightly darker pixels at the back there is Widowmaker. And we're slowly drifting more into Widowmaker's line of sight. Go left, not right. We know they have a Widowmaker, so we have to be careful of where we stand and where we move into when we're fighting people. Because we don't want to get shot and killed. Oh god, why have you returned me to this hell? Oh, everything went better than expected. That was a really bad use of Tac Visor. Also, he saw his entire team was dead, and he was like, I can do it. He didn't do it. I don't know if you were unclear, he didn't do it right there. So again, I'd prefer if we go back up onto the shack rather than standing around down here, which is, you know, kind of awkward to stand in. So, Widowmaker has died the saddest death in recorded history, it looks like, based on the kill feed, so that's good news for us. Mercy just said that somebody was behind us. They haven't shown up. Genji's gonna come back sooner or later. We're keeping an eye on it. Nothing too much is happening right now, so we're just kind of filling space. Still nothing happening back there. We're playing Soldier right now. We're just sitting around waiting for something to happen. Again, I'd prefer if we reset up on the high ground, either on the shack or, like, the high ground, like, on the left-hand side. Up here is where I'm talking about. This is not great because you can't really, like, see there very well, so I'd prefer if we're standing, like, up here, basically. but over there is also not the end of the world. Basically, if you can stand up on high ground, you usually want to be standing on high ground when you're playing Soldier. Because as Master Obi-Wan Kenobi showed us, high ground is really fucking overpowered. So, right there we just saw Bastion. So, now we know that that's there as well. There's Widow. We didn't quite manage to kill the Widow. Very close, but then Mercy came in, she got away. Diva just got hooked in over there. Lucio dropped the beat, did not save her mech, so, you know, that's good time. Lots of ultimates happening outside right now. Here comes all the ultimates. We're just shooting into that. We're really far away, so the Bastion can't really get us. Oh god, Widowmaker, very scary. Don't really, like, if Widow gets, like, a shot in it, you like that, you usually want to just, like, sprint out of the way, because you don't want to get shot by Widow. And if she very narrowly missed you, there's a pretty good chance the next one won't narrowly miss you. We also don't really want to get into fights with Widowmaker as Soldier very much, because Soldier's not actually that good at killing Widow. Unless the Widow really fucks up, as she did earlier when we killed her. So Tac Visor's happening, and that's scary. We kind of show our face to him, and that's even scarier. Should have just waited for it to be over and done with. So we decide that that point's, it's lost. It's very much lost, so this is indeed the correct decision to just leave. So, we've got Tac Visor, that's great. Their team is really fucking ugly. Look at this. Oh god, it's hideous. And not only because it has Roadhog on it. Sorry, Roadhog. So, we also have Res. Mercy died, so she didn't get to res us back there, so she still has it. We should be going up onto the high ground behind the point right now. We're going up here instead. I don't like standing up here because the platforms kind of fuck with you. If you're playing Soldier and you're defending on Volskaya Industries, you can stand on the catwalk behind the point the entire time, basically. And the only thing you have to worry about back there is getting flanked on the right-hand side, sometimes the left-hand side by a Pharah or a Genji, but not that often. You realistically only have to worry about the right-hand side doorway because of the platforms bringing people in. It's really safe. You can see everything. You only have to watch one area for getting flanked, really. And you can just pressure, like, the entire hangar from back there without... And it's pretty hard for them to actually get to you. So, I don't like standing back here. I prefer if we stand back there. Because, you know, this is kind of spooky. This is really spooky. Now we're going really far forward. We don't want to fight this far up ever as Soldier. So, we've lost 2 people, and, you know, that's not exactly a good start. We do still have Tac Visor. We're standing way too close. Like, we're way, way too close. So, Mercy decided to res those 2 people, which is fair enough. We are standing perfectly still right now, which is really bad when they have a Widowmaker. Widowmaker still managed to not kill us somehow. Don't stand perfectly still when you've got a Widowmaker on the enemy team. I'm looking at my microphone, and it looks like it's spiking mad high. So we're just going to adjust that a little bit. So, what's going on now? So, we nearly got killed by Widowmaker. Don't stand perfectly still when you're shooting at people. Just, you know, we don't want to be on the point. Like, we don't want to be down here. This is going to be a recurring thing that we talk about this entire time. We want to be up here as much as possible. We want to be standing up there. If we have to get off of there for whatever reason, we go back up there as soon as we have the opportunity, because it's just the best place you can stand as Soldier. Also as McCree. Also as... If you are a hit scan hero, or just long range, that's generally where you want to stand on the Volskaya's second point, because it's really hard to get to, and you can see the entire hangar. So we've got the Bastion coming around, doing the Rotato Potato. It did not work. He's dead now. We've killed their Mercy because she's just kind of hanging out in open space. We got it shooting at Widow. Widow shooting at us. Soldiers killed Lucio over here. There's a lot of staggered fights. This is exactly why we don't come over to investigate things. Because sometimes you see like a Roadhog, and we're gonna go back and watch that a bit because I liked the response you had to seeing him. Oh god. Oh no. Oh gee. Oh god. It's like one of those gifs of like a rabbit that got spooked by something just like running back and forth in a circle. It's oh god, Roadhog. Oh, it was really funny to me. Alright, so we don't want to be over here because that's really scary. We killed the Roadhog. Roadhog started ulting, but he didn't actually start shooting, so he got the ultimate back. Zenyatta's, like, performing illegal maneuvers. We've killed the Zenyatta because he was doing that. Oh, look, they're all alive again, except Roadhog. So, you know, this, like, all of this that's happening right here is really bad. All that over there, they should not be doing that. We're gonna use just throw all the ultimates into a pot and see what works. I would have also used Tac Visor right there as well, and it all works out, and then we get shot by Widowmaker, because, were we trying to see the Widowmaker? Oh, we saw the Widowmaker when it was too late. Alright. Yeah. You know, we killed everyone, though, so it's not like Widowmaker's about to come in here and take the point or anything, so it's whatever. As always, though, we want to be upstairs on the catwalk. We don't want to be on the point. The point's the most dangerous place you can stand. When you're playing Soldier, you want to be as far back as possible, just doing as much consistent DPS as possible, because that's Soldier's entire thing. Incredibly consistent DPS from very long range. So ultimates are coming in right now. Over there we see Whole Hog. It's kind of pushing us away. Nobody gets pushed off the edge, so that's good. Tac Visor also happening. Widowmaker doing... Who fucking know? Like, what's happening? What's happening? What was Widowmaker up to? We may never know. So we don't want to be down here, but we have to be touching the point right now because somebody has to be touching the point. Bastion's over there. Mercy's like trying to shoot the Bastion. There's a lot of shit happening right now. Mercy's decided to throw her ultimate away because... like, they're all dead, but she was like, you know what? I gotta res this Lucio. Even though the entire enemy team's dead. Well, who knows? I don't know. We want to be up on the high ground still. We don't want to... this is real scary. Like, we don't want to ever really go up to the doorway. Like, if D.Va wants to go out there and fight outside, that's her business. You know, she can do whatever she wants. But we don't go out there as well, because then we probably just die with her. So, you just let her go and do it. We don't want to fight by the doorway. Again, we don't want to be standing on the low ground. We want to be... not to sound like a broken record or anything, but, like, we don't... this is not where we want to be standing. We want to be standing upstairs on the catwalks. Widow's on that far right platform. So we're coming around the backhand side now. We almost got Widow, but she realized she was getting shot at eventually and got out of the way. And again, we're using Tac Visor right now, and then we get just shot by Widowmaker. If you're gonna use Tac Visor also, you generally want to try and get to the... I mean, you want to be on the high ground in general, but if you're gonna use Tac Visor, you want to use it on the high ground. Because the risk of getting killed on the low ground is significantly higher than on the high ground. Ironically enough, the lower you go, the higher you get likelihood of dying. And it's easier to see people. It's harder for them to disappear behind things and just get out of the way. We don't want to use Tac Visor down here. Like, we want to be up there in general. Like, we want to be up here just the entire game. And, like, you can get out of the way because, like, there's the curved bits you can look out and fire from. And, you know, it's hard to get to. Not to sound like a broken record or anything, he said for about the 8th time. But, like, it's really the biggest thing. We are just not standing up there at any point in time, and it is the best place you can stand on this map as any long-range hero, basically. So we're in overtime right now, lots of ultimates happening out there, still a Bastion out there, that's very scary. We should go forward and try and touch the point. Like, we know you're gonna die when you touch the point, but you still gotta go forward and try and touch the point, basically. So, but they got it there in overtime. So, and as you can tell by the extreme length of this VOD of 26 minutes, we play 4 rounds on this map. So, you know, buckle in. We're going to be here for a while. So let's skip forward a little bit. You know, we don't want to watch all this prep time, you know, as if we aren't going to be here long enough anyway. So we see they have an Orisa. We are currently shooting at the Orisa. The Orisa had no clue we were there. We could have taken a little bit longer to line up the sights on the ginormous hitbox that she has, rather than just shooting into her body, but whatever. So, we're shooting at her shield right now. We're playing Soldier. We do want to be shooting her shield as much as possible. Just, like, shoot your rockets into the shields as well if you get the chance. Like, the rockets are not a cooldown to be treasured, and like your thing is Soldier's thing is that he's good at breaking barriers and doing consistent damage. If you think you can hit anything with the rockets, just use your rockets. Don't sit on the cooldown, just use them as frequently as possible. If you're firing them into a shield, fire them into the shield. You'll break it faster. If you think you can hit somebody with them, just shoot them. They're not a cooldown to be treasured. It's low cooldown. It's just damage. There's no utility attached. Spam rockets as much as possible. Just general advice, you know. So, we're doing a little bit of skirmishing right now in the doorway. Zenyatta's just, like, doesn't seem to realize he's getting slowly microwaved to death. But we got him out of it in the end. So, we see that we've lost Winston. Now we've lost Mercy as well. They've only lost Soldier. Things not going great. We're way on the opposite side of the map right now. And we're going up onto the high ground. Finally. And we're pretty much where we want to be right now. We take this time to break all of the Symmetra turrets. And we've broken all the Symmetra turrets. Great. Unfortunately, our entire team is currently dead. So, things are very bad. And, like, I'll be real with you right now. The correct play is to jump off the edge of the map. And here's why. If you're on the opposite side of the enemy team to your team, that's not where you want to be, basically ever, unless you're playing like Genji or Tracer, obviously. But like Soldier, we don't want to be back here. We want to just be with our team. And again, doing as much consistent DPS as possible when we're looking for maximum uptime. We sit back here for a really long time, achieving exactly nothing. It's better, like, back here, you're very likely to die. This isn't really where you want to be because your entire team is dead. You want to be with your team. Soldier is bad at flanking by himself. And sometimes you get an opportunity with Tac Visor, but that's pretty rare as well. We want to just be with our team, doing as much frontline DPS as possible. Soldier is a frontline fighter. That doesn't mean he wants to be on the front line, which is how people interpret it. He wants to be doing just as much consistent damage to the front line as possible. We sit back here for a real long time, not really doing anything. It's better if, like, if you're in a bad position, and the chance of you getting out of it is pretty low, you want to just throw yourself off the edge. Because then you don't give the enemy team ult charge, and you get back to your team faster. If there isn't an edge to throw yourself off of, you usually just want to die faster. Because, like, we're not really doing anything back here. And it's a miracle we honestly survived this long. Like, because they just don't kind of really want to do anything about it. But, like, now we're definitely dead, right? Like, we're definitely dead now. Throw yourself off the edge. Even if you didn't think you were gonna die before, now you are definitely gonna die. Now you throw yourself off the edge so you don't give the enemy team ult charge for killing you, cause you're gonna die. We just sat back there for like 50 seconds, doing nothing. How Zenyatta got there, I'll never fucking know. But we just sat back there doing nothing for like 50 seconds. You wanna be with your team. If you're on the wrong side of the enemy team, just die faster. Get back to where you can actually be doing something with your team quicker. Because we wasted a mad long amount of time right there. So, enemy team, Genji's going in with Dragon Blade right now. We're just drilling into Orisa. Everything's going well. Widowmaker's on the upper right corner. We can see her shooting, so we've got to be mindful of that. We decide that we're going to use Tac Visor, which is fair enough. I wouldn't have used it because the only people we could actually see were Symmetra and Roadhog, and realistically you should be able to shoot them without really needing it. But fair enough, I know why you used it. We end up killing the Widowmaker anyway, we've come up to look for her. But like, from that position, it's like, you probably did not need to use Tac Visor to try and kill those people that we could see. But at the same time, I'm like, yeah, whatever. It's also a fair enough use of it as well, so... So, yeah, this fighting has been happening. There's not really anything to say about it. We've been pretty much focusing everybody that we want to be focusing. We did end up jumping off of the high ground, which we didn't need to do. We were probably afraid that the Venom Mine was going to kill us, which it wasn't. We were, like, mostly full HP. So we could have stayed up on the high ground, but aside from that, that was all fine. Nothing much to say about it. So we've got the first point captured. And as I spoiled earlier, we're going to capture the second point in overtime. So we're going to be here for a while. So now we're going to do this. And
You guys want to dive in?
I don't... Oh, no, we don't do it. Okay. No, do we do it? We do it at one point. We're not doing it right now. Okay, that's fine. There's a point where we get on the platforms, and I don't like when we get on the platforms. We don't want to be back here either. This is like the last place on Earth we want to be right now, because we're like right in front of the enemy team, and we want to be as far away from the enemy team as possible. Best place we can be standing is on the high ground right behind us. I don't think we wanted to wait for the elevator to come back down. We should have waited for the elevator to come back down, because standing in this hallway is like suicide. Like, they have a Roadhog, and we were just like brushed up against their front line a couple of times. How scary is that? This is pre-nerf Roadhog as well, by the way, if you're curious. Like, we don't want to be down here. We want to be up there. If you can get to high ground, you want to be on the high ground, because high ground is really fucking overpowered. Soldier is like the best hero in the game on high ground, because he is a long-range hero, and he has self-sustain. So it's all perfect for him. So now we're going around the backhand side. I just don't like when people do this on Soldier, because like, this, like, murders your uptime, and, like, to me, Soldier is all about having as much uptime as possible, and this kind of thing just, like, doesn't usually work out very well. Like, yeah, we get the Widowmaker, but, like, not even all of our team is currently alive. 2 people are coming out of the spawn, and, like, now we're gonna be in an awkward position, and we actually get Mercy killed, because she's been following us the entire time.
No, I just died. I'm sorry, Mercy.
Like...
Mercy is nice of him, but, like...
Why did we go back there at all, really? Like, what were we realistically going to achieve? Like, okay, we killed Widowmaker. Our team was dead, so we didn't actually get to do anything with that. And the chances of us dying with the Mercy were super high. Now Mercy's death is also incredibly staggered, because our team is getting back right as Mercy is respawning. So now we just have to wait longer for Mercy to get back. So we want to still be up on the high ground, by the way. We're going up onto the high ground now, which is good. This map's a little awkward to attack as Soldier, because this is kind of the best high ground you can get to, and you can't see super well from here, because the wall is kind of in the way. So we've lost 2 people right now. We don't want to be doing anything too crazy. Like, we can sit back here, I guess, and this is fine. The thing is, as well, if, be careful of, like, doing poke damage to the enemy team while your team is still respawning and regrouping, because if your team is not there, the poke damage is probably not going to amount to anything, and it can just give the enemy team's supports ult charge, because they're healing it up, mostly unaffected, because there's nothing that your team can do off of it, like, you're not pressuring them. If you also need ult charge, that's fair enough, but we actually had full ult, so this could be detrimental if the enemy team doesn't already have their support ultimates built up. So, we do still want to be up on the high ground on the right-hand side. Like this, you know... So, we're currently now flanking all the way around the backhand side while, Graviton was happening. We should just be over there fighting with our team. Like, I don't like when we do this kind of thing as Soldier. Like, we should just be standing on the high ground over there. And you're playing Soldier, so when the fight, if you feel like you need to move up, you can just jump over to this platform, actually. So... we should just be standing over there, then we see the Graviton happening, we shoot into that. If we feel like we have to move up, we can jump over to this platform, or just jump down onto the point if we, like, really feel like we have to. But, like, again, we're doing, like, this weird, like, go around the backhand side stuff, and I don't like it when soldiers do that. It's just not, it's not how I want to see them. It's not what I want to see. So we're using Tac Visor. We didn't really get to do anything with it because they used about 3 ultimates as well, and one of them was Tac Visor. Roadhog was looking at us. We didn't really get to do anything with it. I would have also used Tac Visor right there. It's just unfortunate that then they used like 3 ultimates right as we did it as well. You could argue you didn't need to do it because of the angle you were in. You could have just tried to shoot down at them first, seeing as they were right underneath you. And ideally, we wouldn't have even been in that position anyway. We would have been on the right-hand side still. So, that changes things as well. But, mostly just unlucky, honestly. So, we see Mercy right there. We actually managed to kill the Mercy, which is fantastic news. Now we get to try and go in off of that happening. Reaper has managed to flank Widowmaker. We've lost our Winston, but that's fine, honestly. Now it's less fun. We've lost our other tank, and we've lost Mercy. However, we are still winning. It's only 2 tanks left. We've still got Reaper. Reaper's good at killing tanks. We're not exactly bad. We should be trying to kill that Mercy. Like, we should not be shooting the person Mercy is healing. We should be shooting the Mercy. Because if you're shooting the person Mercy is healing, you're giving Mercy more ult charge. Mercy having her ultimate right now would be the end of this game. So rather than shooting the Orisa, we should have just been trying to get her... Like, yeah, I know the shield was in the way. Run through the shield to try and get the Mercy instead, because we were just giving her more ult charge by shooting the Orisa.
Nice.
It ends up not mattering. We cleared it with 5 seconds left. That's still under a minute, so both teams get the minute extension. But we've got 5 seconds more, which is an advantage. But yeah, so the thing there is to switch to the Mercy faster. Well, we didn't actually switch to the Mercy at all, we just kept shooting the Orisa, which is not good. You want to just kill the Mercy. Even if, like, yeah, the barrier was in the way, just sprint through the barrier. It's not like Orisa can do much to peel for the Mercy, you just want to get at the Mercy. So, we're back here again. We have more standard tanks now, but we still have Junkrat, so we're still upset. Again, I'd prefer if we were standing up on the shack, for reasons already stated. At least we have a Reinhardt here to stand behind now, which is, you know, something still. So, there goes Roadhog, just kind of like brute forcing his way through the front. This is, you know, I'm just saying, if we were up on top of the shack, we could have just, like, shot Roadhog's face the entire time he was pushing through that way, and we might have killed him before he actually got in the doorway. Or we'd have at least done more damage to him, you know. That's what, you know, that's all I'm saying. So we know he's over there. So we have to keep an eye on that. We can't really, like, actively go and kill him because we're playing Soldier, you know. So we've come back here. We see Genji. We're trying to bully around Genji. Genji's dead now. Here comes Lucio. Lucio is performing an illegal maneuver. Like, what's he doing? Like, what's he doing? Explain to me, right, explain to me what the Lucio is thinking when he sees 6 people standing on the point. And then he goes and jumps on the point by himself. What's the plan? Exactly. Because you can't build up percentage if enemy people are there. So why go jump on it when 6 people are there and it's just you as Lucio? What's the point? What? Explain to me why people think that they should do that when they're playing Lucio. Because it's the thing that's the most perplexing to me in this entire game. When people who are bad at standing on the point, well, Lucio's not bad at standing on the point, but when, like, squishy people go and stand on the point by themselves versus 6 people, like, what do they think is gonna happen? What? It's the thing that baffles me more than anything else in this game when they decide to do that. I don't get it. I see the Lucio doing that, and I'm just like, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? What do you think is gonna happen? Are you gonna boop all 6 people into a black hole that's gonna materialize behind them? What's gonna happen? What play do you see that I don't see? What do you think will happen? I don't get it. I just don't get it. Anyway, whatever. So they're just coming in one by one right now.
Up top, middle building.
And, we're calling out where Widow is, so that's good. Communication, for the most part, is pretty good, as well. I haven't really talked about it, because I kind of don't care, really, about communication very much. I got into Masters never talking to another human being in my life. Ever. Not since I was born have I talked to another human being. So there's nothing to say right now, because we're just sitting really far back and shooting at people, and we're prioritizing the correct people as well. So there isn't much to say. We should be trying to, well, we should have taken an opportunity during downtime to get onto the high ground behind us, because high ground is good. But other than that, everything we just did was fine. We were sitting back, we were targeting people correctly, you know, all that good stuff, so it all went well. Yeah, your communication is good as well. Like, I don't talk to anybody. Half the time I'm not even listening to the game, actually. I'm usually just, like, listening to music, actually. It doesn't really matter. Like, yeah, if you're the kind of guy that's looking for every possible advantage, you know, it helps, but, like, I don't engage with human beings. Oh, terrible. God. You want me to talk to these people on the internet?
Go there.
Why would I want to do that?
Not at the choke.
So,
Roadhog.
we're attacking now. Our team, just trying to, like, push through immediately. We almost got the soldier right there, but we didn't quite, which is unfortunate. We're sort of trying to get him right now, you know. We should have gone around the left-hand side for a couple of reasons. First off, that's where our team went, so we want to generally go with where our team is going. But we also want to go that way, because that way is easier to get to the high ground. It's slightly better high ground than back here, because it's harder for the enemy team to get to. And you can overlook everything. Like, this is closer to it's easier for the enemy team to get to you up here, because they can come up through the staircase downstairs. And they can come up from behind you as well. On the other side, they have to, like, walk at you from over here, or, like, on the left-hand side. They have to take a very long route to get to you that you can see the entire time. And it's easier for you to get to. And you can see slightly more as well, because of the, like, this window isn't in the way, basically. Like, it's kind of the same as this, but it's more open. So, we want to go around the left-hand side for a few different reasons, rather than coming around this way. We are still on the high ground, which is half of the equation, though, so, and it's the more important part of it, so it's all good. So, Symmetra has gotten up behind us, that's why being on this side is better. That can't really happen. We lost a lot of our team. Our team is, like, super dead right now. So, we don't, like, Winston's doing this. This is not good. We didn't really have time to throw ourselves off the edge because of the amount of time we had left. We would probably just not get back here in time. So, you know, we're basically stuck over here. Winston went and killed himself, which is sad. Tracer killed herself, which is good. We don't want to be coming around this way. This is not high ground. However, we do have to touch the point. So, you know. Things are not exactly looking good right now. We're trying to kill the Mercy. That is generally what you want to be trying to do. We're trying to kill the Zenyatta when he comes into sight. Oh god. Oh no. Ultimates. Very scary. We run back. We heal up. Ultimates are still happening. Attack Visor has now ended. However, our entire team is dead. We have been stuck. There is no way. If there's a play there, I don't see it. All I see is get fucked. Basically, no matter what you do. So, we got there, you know, it was a draw in the end. All that really happened is everyone wasted 26 minutes, basically. Like, I know drawing is better than losing, but whenever I draw, I'm always just kind of like, oh, what even was the point, really, you know? So let's watch the play of the game. It's Soldier, as you may have noticed. Yeah. Lots of ultimates. Our ultimate was the best ultimate, so that means, you know, we get to have to play the game. That's a pretty high kill percentage. It's not quite 69%, which is disappointing, but, yeah, almost. Actually, didn't notice that. Look at that. How about that? Good times. So, biggest thing, like, it's, like, you're pretty good mechanically at Soldier. Aim is, like, is decent, you know. The thing is, positioning, not good. Stand on high ground. Stand further back. During that, if you have to get off of the high ground, go back to the high ground when you have an opportunity. High ground is undervalued in this game, and it is really, really strong. Biggest example to me is Dorado, second checkpoint. If you can control the high ground over the church, like where the church is, you get to win that checkpoint. Like, whichever team you're on, you just get to win that checkpoint, because that's like the most severe high ground in the game. It's really hard to get to. It's straight up, which is hard to aim at. You can just like walk back half a step and you're out of the way. If you get to control that, no matter whichever side you're on, attack or defense, if you control that high ground, you win that checkpoint. That's just how it is, because it's that strong. You want to be on high ground as much as possible. If you can get to high ground, get to high ground. If you have to get off high ground, go back to the high ground when you have an opportunity. It's very important. And that's kind of the biggest thing, really. Because, like, the thing is as well, like, I would say ult execution, but that honestly, like, ties in to positioning as well. Because, like, when you use tac visor on low ground, that's just generally worse than being on high ground. So usually being on high ground just makes your tac visors better because that's a better place to use them in. There are I'll say team play, but this is a fairly minor example. It's based off of trying to do a lot of stuff by ourselves. We want to just be with our team as much as possible, and there's quite a few instances where we go off by ourselves, and we don't try and get back to the team. We just kind of Soldier isn't a very independent hero. You're pretty dependent on your team still, not to the same degree as somebody like Mercy is very dependent on her team, but Soldier is not very independent. He doesn't like people being on top of him. He needs a strong front line to be there because he needs them to make space for him, because he doesn't like people being on top of him. He wants to just sit back as far as possible, preferably on high ground, and doing as much consistent DPS as possible. Soldier doesn't even necessarily get that many, kills, but he'll get, a lot of assists, because he's just doing a lot of damage to people. You have 54 eliminations. That's a lot, but that's kills and assists. Soldier should have a lot of eliminations, even though he might not actually kill that many people. You just want to do as much consistent DPS as possible. Which is also why I don't like when people are doing this weird flanking stuff with Soldier, because that just, murders your uptime, which is what you should really try and have as much of as possible when you're playing Soldier. But everything I say now is going to just be me repeating everything I've already been saying for the last 39 minutes. 38, actually, because there's a bit I'll cut out. So, that's the most important thing. High ground. Stand further back. Be with your team as much as possible. Or behind your team, at least. So, thank you very much for watching if you did. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm more than happy to answer. I hope you found the video helpful.